protests turned to riots over the Vietnam War draft. Two Central Illinoisans remember the events from opposite sides of the line. Next, from the vault. Plus, the flag is a point of American pride. So why did police get involved when one man took action to protect it? And can you drink enough coffee to join this clash? Making memories every morning in one Central Illinois town. All that and local couples take their displays of affection public with prizes on the line. That and more next from the vault.
The stories that made news and made history. The places that mattered to us and the people who made Central Illinois home. Join us from the vault.
Hi everyone, I'm Matt Metcalf. Glad you could join us. Thousands of Central Illinoisans have served in America's armed forces, but not all of them come home. Our communities erect monuments to their sacrifice, as they did in Coles County, when residents there built one of the first local memorials honoring veterans from the Vietnam War. Here's Donna Schulte from the Vault, 1982.
On a day when most people think of firecrackers and celebrations, some people in Mattoon found time for a little quiet reflection. They gathered in Peterson Park to honor 16 men who gave their lives in combat in Vietnam. The 17th man on the list is still missing in action.
Aim! Fire!
They brought their kids. They wore the colors of the flag.
Before us are the names of the men from our country who have served in Vietnam. We honor them. We extend to them, to their greatest memory, the deepest respect.
The Veterans of Foreign Wars, Chapter 4325, raised money for the monument. Last year they had a similar unveiling in Washington, D.C., but on a larger scale. After the dedication, members met for a little get-together at the VFW Hall. They say this is the only Vietnam memorial of its kind in Illinois. They say they hope other districts will follow today's example and build other monuments to those who died fighting for their country. Donna Schulte, Channel 3 News, Mattoon.
The reporter mentioned that there was still one soldier missing in action. The remains of James Larry Phipps were returned to the United States in 2015. He's interred at Arlington National Cemetery. The reasons for going to war in Vietnam were complicated, coming at a confluence of conflict over the Cold War, civil rights, and the 26th Amendment, which would allow 18-year-olds to vote for the politicians who would send them to war. Central Illinois was not isolated from all of this. Back for the station's 50th anniversary, I was assigned an opportunity to interview two men, both involved in a conflict on the U of I campus that turned violent. It was remarkable how they remembered that event years later. It's from the Vault, 2003.
There's something happening here.
Being at war is not a happy time. You know, it's a time when the nation was definitely in serious crisis. It was extremely divided.
That's how Vern Fain remembers the late 1960s and early 70s. He was a graduate student and led rallies against the Vietnam War on campus.
When we started, it was pretty unpopular to be against the Vietnam War. As time wore on, it became extremely popular.
I think it's time we stop, children. What's that sound? Everybody look what's going down.
Sit-ins and street protests became a part of everyday life, and the tension continued to build.
Crowds of students held rallies by day and walked the streets by night, breaking windows, blocking traffic, and causing Champaign-Urbana officials to invoke a curfew to clear the streets.
In March 1970, students flooded the streets again, protesting the university's decision to postpone an anti-war speech and allow defense contractor General Electric to recruit for jobs on campus. But this time, National Guard tanks rolled into campus town to enforce a new curfew. That touched off a clash between students and law enforcement.
They were wanting to go out and march around campus, and we were bound and determined they weren't going to, and so you've got the face-off.
Captain Jim Reestick with the Champaign County Sheriff's Department was a 22-year-old fresh out of the academy cadet. It was July of 1971. He'd been a deputy less than 2 months when he found himself on the front lines of his first campus riot.
It was intimidating, and yet on the other side of the coin, it's kind of exciting to be there. I mean, this was something I'd never experienced before, and here you are in the middle of it.
The student protests died down by the mid-1970s. 30 years after those protests, Vern Fain says he has no regrets.
This country is based on that kind of freedom, on the right to protest. This is what people died for. This is what makes this country different than other countries.
What is it good for? Absolutely nothing. Say it again, y'all.
Matt Metcalf, 3 News.
Even through the years, what stood out to me about talking with both men was that each believed that they were on the right side of the argument, and yet both understood why the other did the things that they did. 2 different views of Americans' patriotic duty. Well, you might remember from school that the United States has a flag code, specific ways that an American flag should be treated. One Champaign County man didn't like what he saw and took controversial action. WCIA's Barry Cutler filed this report. It's from the Vault, 1989.
These stars and bars, tattered, torn, and discolored, flying over the Washington Square Senior Citizens Home, prompted disabled veteran Art Vincent to take some action. In what some people would call a patriotic gesture, Vincent began lowering the worn flag, and a building security guard looked on in disbelief.
I'm surprised that your elderly residents haven't said something. They're from a generation that revered the flag a lot more than this generation does.
Vincent then persuaded the guard to help fold the flag.
This is not going to fold into a triangle. There's no way in hell.
The two did manage to fold Old Glory in some semblance of a triangle, and Vincent presented it to a building official. The Washington Square flag is the second in 2 days which Vincent decided should not fly. Monday, Vincent took down a flag at the Champaign Hardee's restaurant where he works. Vincent says that flag, like the Washington Square flag, was in bad shape.
If people can burn it by law as a political protest, then I certainly think I've got a right and a duty to see that it's revered a little more than it is in these 2 spots.
While few people may question Vincent's motives, many may question his means.
You don't come into another people's property and take a flag down without some explanation.
American Legion officials also find fault with Vincent's actions. They say no one has the right to take down someone else's flag. Officials also say Vincent should use a more tactful approach because he's violating trespassing laws. Vincent's actions seem to have paid off. The Washington Square flag has been replaced. Vincent says he's not hunting for worn flags, but if he sees one, he'll make sure it comes down, even if it's not by his own hands. In Champaign, Barry Cutler, the Channel 3 News at 10.
If you have old or tattered flags that need to be retired, you can bring them to your local American Legion. So if a candygram is a sweet way to say I love you at Valentine's Day, what does a condomogram say? We'll find out. Plus, showing your love with a kiss, a long, long kiss. Find out what contest got these couples lip-locked.
From the Vault, celebrating the rich history of Central Illinois. Brought to you in part by the Abraham Lincoln Presidential Library and Museum. Online at presidentlincoln.illinois.gov.
From the Vault, 1995, the Smooch Off. 10 Central Illinois couples competing against each other for love power. Whoever locked lips longest won a trip to the Bahamas. Most of the competitors remained attached for nearly 4 hours. So what's your favorite way to say I love you at Valentine's Day? Candy, flowers, barbershop singers? Well, some University of Illinois students had a different way to express their feelings with condomograms. Molly Hall filed this report in 1988.
This could be the Valentine surprise of the year, and there's only one place to get it, the University of Illinois.
I think it's been great. So far today, I've been here since around noon. We started selling at 10 o'clock, and we've sold a few hundred already just today.
For $1.25, a safe-sex condom Valentine will be mailed to just about anyone, anywhere. Each one of these comes with your choice of 13 messages that range from your basic Happy Valentine's Day to something like roses are red, violets are blue, wear a condom, and I love you.
With AIDS and things that are going on right now, I think anything that people can do to help prevent these kinds of things will really be helpful.
Especially on a college campus where there's a lot of irresponsible sex. You meet somebody in a bar and you're drunk and you don't know what you're doing. And I think it's just a really good idea.
The Health Advocates came up with the idea last semester as a fundraiser for their spring wellness fair. Other groups got involved as part of Contraceptive Awareness Week. While most of the reaction has been positive, there has been some criticism that the campaign may promote sex, but the group says information provided at the booth suggests otherwise.
We encourage students to carefully consider their sexuality decisions, and that the only sure way to prevent unwanted pregnancies and sexually transmitted diseases is abstinence.
By the time you're in college, you're going to do whatever you want to do, and I think we're young adults, and I think we should just be responsible about what we're doing.
The Health Advocates look at it as fulfilling the dual goal of raising money and safe sex awareness. They hope to send out more than 1,000 condomograms this Valentine's Day. Molly Hall, Channel 3 News, the U of I.
While controversial in 1988, condomograms are alive and well, being distributed by campus groups and even some colleges themselves around the country. Central Illinois journalists being honored for their work in Washington, D.C. That's later. But next, 30 years calling balls and strikes on the Little League field. Three friends and their passion for the game.
From the Vault, celebrating the rich heritage of Central Illinois. Sponsored by Sunset Funeral Homes. Remember, celebrate, heal.
Welcoming summer with a splash. WCIA in Charleston in 2006 for the opening of their new $2 million aquatic center. There was something for everyone. For the adults, a lap pool. For kids, a shallow pool with sprayers and a frog-shaped slide.
It's awesome. Sweet. It's awesome. I like everything.
The giant slide was a hit for all ages. When you find your passion, you stick with it. Back in 1985, PM Magazine found 3 umpires who had been calling games together for decades, going all the way back to the Eisenhower administration. Here's Steve Traynor from the Vault.
Okay, let's play ball.
Baseball, the great American pastime, and this may be its purest form, the Little League, where dreams of grand slams and no-hitters first start. But into every game a little blue rain must fall, the umpire.
Right.
Hey, now take it easy. How could you not love a face like this? The guy's a grandfather. Who could he hurt?
Right, you're out. Have ball.
Love him or hate him, you can't leave him, because this trio of umps is very special. From rains in May to arid August, 66-year-old Bill Sullivan,
time,
71-year-old Howard Miller, and 74-year-old Harry Jarrett haven't missed a Friday night Sullivan, Indiana Little League game in 28 years.
Too old to play. Nobody wanted to coach, but to do something.
The baseball player, I wasn't that much of a ball player. In fact, I struck out 5 times one night. That's when I went into umpiring.
Even a poor umpire is better than no umpire.
They must let you guys get away with murder then, right? I mean, don't they yell and scream every once in a
You
while?
do a good job.
They know we're not going to change. Foul ball. Yes.
If I wasn't doing something right or they thought they could help me out, they'd tell me. I'm sure they did that for everybody, not just me.
Time. Tie your shoestring, will you, please? Supposed to keep on the base now till the ball reaches the batter, okay? 2-2. Here, over here.
But what about retirement, guys?
Well, as long as I don't have to do it in a wheelchair, I think I'll just keep doing it.
Yeah, besides the exercise does them good. And there are dreams to be scheduled. Bill, Howard, and Harry make sure your dream follows the rules. What? That pitch was outside. You gotta be kidding.
You never win one with the old man.
A well-known Central Illinois journalist called before Congress. Find out why. But next, mugs and meaning. Mornings in one small town with an enduring tradition.
The stories and people you remember from Central Illinois. Once again, From the Vault with Matt Metcalf.
Welcome back. Coffee drinkers say there's almost something sacred about that first cup in the morning. Well, for more than 5 decades, a select group of coffee drinkers made their morning rounds at the Arcola Pharmacy. WCIA's Bill Yock filed this report in 1995.
Larry Bouchou has spent the last decade carrying on a 47-year tradition.
Don't want the coffee too strong or we'll hear about it.
As the owner of the Arcola Pharmacy, home to the Arcola Coffee Cup Club.
Yeah, I got my cup in about 1956 after I got out of high school and started working here during college.
There are 161 other cups, like Larry's, each with a name and its own special place. The cupboard was originally built by the high school industrial arts class and expanded to run the full length of the soda fountain, forever locking in the size of the club.
It just ended up that number, so that number stayed. Someone has to die or move away before we can put someone else up.
Come on, Bob, it's your club.
Bob Arl, the founder and unofficial club president for life, still shows up at 8 each morning, drinking from a cup he first labeled and set on a shelf in 1948. 20 or so regulars also show up every morning for their caffeine constitutional.
Good coffee.
The camaraderie of the club, the real draw. Monikers on the cups hinting at their own stories of nicknames and past exploits.
It's mostly ball games, bowling. When the weather improves, we have to watch the golf balls sail over.
The rural version of a breakfast power meeting. Old friends replaying the highs and lows of yesterday's news.
Oh, it was bad, yeah. We got a hold of a bunch of guys that bowled awful well.
Retelling the jokes and stories they've shared over their lives, one cup of coffee at a time.
Miller's son played for the Cardinals, and so he thinks he knows something about football.
I don't know anything about it.
The second cup price is only good if you stay on the stool. If you get off the stool, then you go back to the first.
Well, he decided to go ahead and go to school, so he went and contacted George House.
2 cups for a nickel.
It's bad enough having to listen to it without having to participate in it.
After the last pot has been brewed, the cups are washed and carefully put back in their places. A few cup owners will wander in during the rest of the day, but it's the morning crowd that makes up the heart of the club.
Some of them there are, because there's several balls.
After 47 years, there is still a waiting list for a place on the wall.
People seem to appreciate it when we put a cup up there for them.
And the slow changing of names that marks the aging of the town itself keeps alive the spirit and tradition of sharing more than just a good cup of coffee.
As long as we can keep the door open, I think the coffee club will be here.
So there was only one requirement for membership, and that was that you drink 5 gallons of coffee or 100 cups before you could be put on the waiting list. How about that? We'll be right back. Paul Davis, longtime news director and news anchor at WCIA, was not just respected in our communities. He was respected around the state for quality journalism that held the powerful to account. And it was a point of pride for WCIA, as you'll see in this spot from 1979.
Channel 3 News Director Paul Davis. For nearly 20 years, residents of Central Illinois have relied on him for news. In the past year, his colleagues in broadcast news have been relying on Paul to direct the activities of the Radio Television News Directors Association, a 2,000-member organization dedicated to improving the quality of broadcast news. And members of Congress have also relied on Paul. 5 times he was invited to testify before congressional subcommittees on ways to protect journalism and the public's right to know.
In my own news department this past week, we identified notes and information about 5 police or investigative units of the state. Our notes now contain information from inside sources. 2 have taken considerable risk in talking with us.
What's more important, Paul's activities mean something special to the people of Central Illinois.
It means I know the inner workings of government better. This can be helpful to Central Illinois viewers when there's a complex issue in the news.
Paul Davis, leader of the Channel 3 News Team, #1 in Central Illinois.
Paul Davis, making journalism stronger. That does it for us from The Vault. Thanks for watching. I'm Matt Metcalf. We'll see you next time.